Pokémon HeartGold and SoulSilver are the best remakes of all time and the best games in the Pokémon series. That might be a bold statement, but these games brought Johto to life by bringing them into the modern era with graphical updates, quality of life updates, and loads of new content. The Johto region has always been a fan favorite. The second generation of Pokemon took everything that the first generation did right and expanded upon it, by not only allowing you to experience a full new region with loads of new Pokemon, but also go back and explore the entire first game's region set in the future. For the mathematicians out there, that is double the amount of gyms that you get in any other Pokemon title. The most impressive part of that is that none of the gyms feel like filler. Each gym is unique and offers a different challenge. My biggest fear when stepping into HeartGold and SoulSilver for the first time was that they were going to strip away some of the content from the originals. But not only did they take the original games and do them justice, they also kept the quality of life adjustments that we saw in the more recent Pokemon titles. Prior to these games, special attacks were reserved for certain types of Pokemon, and physical attacks were reserved for others. This created some awful imbalances for Pokemon like Gyarados, who had really strong attack stats, but terrible moves. With the Gen 4 games, they made it so each individual move had the distinction between being physical and being special. This change was kept for all of the Pokemon games that followed, including HeartGold and SoulSilver. This took Pokemon who may have been outshined and gave them the chance to be useful on a team. But the most important quality of life upgrade was the fact that any Pokemon can follow you wherever you go. Whatever Pokemon is placed first in your party will follow you wherever you're walking. That means you can take a 900-pound Wailord and bring it into a single family home. Walking with your Pokemon raises their friendliness level and allows them to pick up items as they're going. The best part about this though is that when you walk with a shiny Pokemon, it shows the shiny sprite, allowing you to flex if you find a shiny, making it that much more rewarding. This little quality of life update makes it have so much more depth for the player to bring their team along with them. You get to see your starter Pokemon grow and progress into their final form as you explore the region, and it makes you feel like a more accomplished trainer as you go on. Even at the start of the game, seeing your Pokemon following you is so refreshing. At the start of your journey, Professor Elm gives you the choice between 3 different starters: Chikorita, Totodile, and Cyndaquil. Even though Professor Elm is built like a pencil, these are some of the best starters in Pokemon history. Shortly after picking your Pokemon, you're introduced to your new rival, Silver. He breaks into Professor Elm's lab and steals whatever Pokemon is super effective against you. Silver is what I want all Pokemon rivals to be like. He is so hateable, and that makes you genuinely want to beat him whenever you encounter him. He has an incredible story that gets more complicated as the game progresses, with great character development compared to the other rivals. Watching Silver progress from someone who doesn't care about his Pokemon and only wants to get stronger to someone who genuinely cares for his Pokemon is incredible to see. It makes other rivals in the series like Barry and May seem so dull by comparison. Having someone who has a completely different view of Pokemon and sees them as a tool rather than a companion adds a great dynamic which is not replicated in other games. When you see Barry as your rival, he's your childhood neighbor who has too much energy and clearly needs to be medicated, but you don't feel the need to beat him. The rivalry with Silver is more of a clash of ideals instead of a friendly rivalry, which makes the conflict so much more engaging. To me, the pacing of this game is so much faster than other titles, which is most likely because there's twice the amount of gyms to get through. The hardest part of the early game is the 3rd gym with Whitney's milk tank, who hits like a Mack truck. Ultimately, all the gyms in the Johto region feel unique and interesting, which makes exploring the region that much more engaging. HeartGold and SoulSilver are a direct continuation of the story from Red and Blue, which means you get to see what happens after the game. Team Rocket is going out of their way to cause trouble again after their beloved leader Giovanni went missing at the end of the first titles. While thwarting Team Rocket's plans to collect Slowpoke tails and get their leader back, you beat all 8 gyms and the Elite Four and finish the story as the champion. Except, now you have to go do it again and go through all the Kanto gyms with scaled up difficulty due to being the champion. This game is the only 2-in-1 Pokemon experience, which makes it so much more rewarding to play the post-game. HeartGold and SoulSilver has so much endgame content, it is unreal, allowing you to take on all the gym leaders from the past game after experiencing all of the new region. This is something so unique to this game, and I wish was done in more titles. The Kanto region feels just as alive as it did in the previous title, and you get to see everything that's changed in the time that passed. This is a great way to appeal to the nostalgic feelings of old fans. All the gym leaders that you know and love are still there, with the addition of Blue, who replaced Giovanni, and Janine, who replaced Koga because he got promoted to the Elite Four. Having 8 more gyms to complete after the first game is such a nice feeling, and getting to go back and see all of the old gym leaders is even more fun than in the first games. You know what to expect from the gyms since you've beaten them before, but to see them with scaled up teams is so refreshing. Once you complete all 16 gyms, you get to recomplete the Elite Four with scaled difficulty, and then you can finally challenge the real final boss. The legendary trainer Red is sitting on top of Mount Silver waiting for someone to give him an actual challenge. The battle with Red is the best battle in Pokemon history. The legend surrounding him and his incredibly strong team of Pokemon makes this the battle for the ages. And what's most impressive is that you get to fight your past self. You get to battle the Pokemon equivalent of Mike Tyson in his prime. The challenge that this offers makes this the best test of strength ever in Pokemon. This fight was also in the original games, but with the quality of life updates, it just is so much more satisfying. And just in case the 16 gyms and Red were not enough, the post-game also offers the Battle Frontier. The Battle Frontier works just like it did in Emerald, where you work to achieve a win streak in the selected location to earn battle points. You can use those battle points in the shop to buy items, or scratch-offs if you want to feel like a gambling addict. With the amount of content that comes in this game, it is incredible to me that this is not the standard when you're remaking a game. Not only did it take the incredible Gold and Silver games and bring them to the DS, it added elements from the story of Crystal, with a focus on Suicune throughout the game. The amount of post-game content in this game sets it apart from other video game remakes. It takes the beautiful formula that Pokemon is known for and adds so much more without taking away anything else. None of what they add feels like a gimmick, and all of it feels like it enhances the experience as opposed to making it something entirely new. I never hear anyone talking about how difficult these games can actually be. Of course you have the difficult Red fight, but even around the Kanto region you have extremely strong Pokemon that make it hard to breeze your way through. The main complaint about the modern Pokemon games is how easy they can be. You can take one Pokemon through the entire story and not have to worry about any challenges along the way. What makes HeartGold and SoulSilver the best remake of all time is that Pokemon has learned what makes their games special. They made this game as a labor of love for Pokemon fans who look back at the old games in the series and find nostalgia, all while keeping things in the games that fans of the modern era love. The optional addition of using the Pokéwalker to bring Pokemon with you and level them up by taking steps adds a personal connection to these Pokemon and makes it so you feel like your real life is affecting your game, which is something that is not done in other games. It seems to be a trend in gaming companies to take their old titles and remake or remaster them to bring them onto modern hardware. When remaking a game, it is hard to find the balance between keeping what works in the old game and what fans love, and adding new things to make it worth purchasing again. What Pokemon HeartGold and SoulSilver do so well is keep things that work and add smaller things to it that not only make new fans happy, but make old fans feel like they are somehow playing their old game, but experiencing something completely new. It's really hard to keep your old fans happy while trying to bring in a new audience, all while keeping everybody entertained. And Pokemon HeartGold and SoulSilver do this perfectly. Not only are Pokemon HeartGold and SoulSilver the best Pokemon games to be released, they're also the best remakes of any video game ever made, and should be the standard when other companies are looking to remake their game. If you made it this far in the video, thank you for watching. I hope that you have an incredible day, and make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on our 1,000 subscriber giveaway special. As always, I hope you and your family have an incredible day, and make sure you subscribe.